If you invest $800 a month for 30 years, you can end up with close to $1,000,000. If you spend $800 a month on a car for 30 years, you retire with nothing extra. That's it. That's the whole video. Except most people won't do that math because the car feels normal. Right now in America, the average new car payment is about $772 a month. 1 in 5 buyers is paying over $1,000 a month. That's not luxury, that's average. And what makes it dangerous isn't the number, it's how calm everyone is about it. You don't feel reckless signing that loan, you feel responsible because everyone else is doing it. And that's the trap. Nobody ruins their retirement with one stupid decision, they ruin it with one completely normal one, repeated every 7 years. Dealerships figured something out a long time ago. People don't shop for price, they shop for monthly payment. So instead of lowering the car price, they stretch the loan. Average auto loan today, about 69 months. Over 20% go 7 years. 7. You will be making payments on that vehicle when the warranty's gone, the tech is outdated, and it already smells like old gym bags and spilled coffee. I had a guy message me, 34 years old, makes about $92K a year. Solid income. He said, I kept the payment under $900, so I'm good. Under $900. That sentence should terrify you because $900 a month isn't transportation, it's a second rent payment. And here's what nobody tells them. At $900 invested monthly at historical market returns over 30 years, that's around $1 million. He didn't buy a truck, he postponed financial freedom. By the way, if this kind of breakdown makes you slightly uncomfortable, good, that means you're thinking. On Darek Invests, we talk about getting rich quick. We talk about the silent financial habits that cost you decades. If you want real math behind normal decisions, hit subscribe. Now, let's keep going. Here's where it gets ugly. Nearly 25% of trade-ins recently were underwater, meaning people owed more than the car was worth. Average negative equity? Around $6,000. So what happens? Do people pay it off? No, they roll it into the next loan, which means they're financing the new car plus the ghost of the old car. That's like moving out of an apartment and still paying rent on it while signing a new lease somewhere else. I had a friend, we'll call him Matt. Matt traded in his SUV. Dealer says, good news, we can roll everything in and keep your payment about the same. Matt thought he won. What actually happened? He just reset the debt clock another 6 years. The payment stayed, the debt multiplied, and the cycle continued. Dealerships don't sell cars, they sell emotional relief disguised as manageable payments. Let's simplify this brutally. Person A always has a car payment, $772 average, new car every 6 to 7 years. Person B buys reliable used cars, drives them longer, invests the difference monthly. After 30 years at average market returns, Person B has around $800,000 more. Not because they're smarter, not because they're lucky, not because they sacrificed happiness, but because they refused to normalize a payment. Compound interest doesn't care about leather seats. It cares about consistency. And every dollar that goes into depreciation is a dollar that never compounds. Let's be real for a second. For a lot of men, the car isn't about transportation. It's about identity, power, status, momentum. You don't feel successful driving something boring. You feel like you're falling behind. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The coworker whose truck you're trying to match, he might be carrying credit card balances, stressing over bills, underwater on his trade-in. You're comparing your long-term wealth to someone else's 7-year loan. That's a losing strategy because nobody posts their interest rate on Instagram. The people who win this game, they look unimpressive at 35. Reliable car, invested difference, built margin, avoided ego purchases. From the outside, it looks like they haven't upgraded yet. From the inside, they're building optionality. At 55, they're the ones who can leave a toxic job, retire earlier, take risks, help their kids, sleep without payment anxiety because they didn't trade their 50s for horsepower in their 30s. Let's slow this down for a second because this isn't about the car. It's about the direction your life is quietly moving. You can have a driveway that impresses strangers or an investment account that protects your family. You can have horsepower or financial leverage. You can have a moment of validation at a red light or decades of optionality when it actually matters. Here's the brutal part no one says out loud. At 35, the expensive car feels powerful. At 45, the payment feels heavier. At 55, the lack of investments feels terrifying. And the car? It's long gone, traded in, rolled over, forgotten. But the lost compound growth? That never comes back. The market doesn't refund missed decades. Retirement accounts don't care how nice your truck looked in 2028. Freedom doesn't come from looking successful. It comes from building quietly while everyone else is financing appearances. And I'm not saying never buy a nice car. I'm saying understand the trade. Understand that every $800 payment is not just a payment. It's a fork in the road. One direction leads to lifestyle pressure. The other leads to financial power. And here's what most people miss. The people who look behind in their 30s often pull far ahead in their 50s because they chose margin over image, assets over ego, investments over impressions. Normal is expensive. Silently, relentlessly, predictably expensive. And if you're still watching this, it means you don't want normal. You want clarity. You want control. You want options. That's exactly why this channel exists. On Darek Invests, we break down the financial habits that look harmless but cost people decades. We talk about middle-class money traps, debt psychology, real estate math, retirement strategy, economic cycles that repeat again and again. Not hype, not get rich quick, not flex culture. Real numbers, real patterns, real leverage. So if you want to stop making normal financial decisions, if you want to start thinking long-term, if you want your money to work harder than you do, subscribe to Darek Invests. Because the system is designed for you to stay average, and average retire stressed. We don't do average here. I'll see you in the next one.